For Black Friday, you can get The Athletic for only £1 a month for a whole year. See the link in the description now to sign up.
Hello, welcome to Tifo IRL. I'm JJ Bull, and in this video, we're going to look at whether we saw the new Man United in their draw against Chelsea on Sunday, which has just happened, and we're about to talk about it now. So let's look at some of the things that we saw that were different and how Michael Carrick set the team up. They were in a 4-3-3, which is sort of actually a 4-4-2 diamond because Fernandes drops in from this kind of false 9 position with 2 split strikers. But Fernandes also helped lead the press by pressing from the front as front of this. So it becomes a 3 as a forward 3, and your 3 of McTominay, Matic and Fred was in behind it here. Now this is actually quite similar, coincidentally, to how lots of Ralf Rangnick teams have played in the past, like RB Leipzig. Of course, he can't have any say in this because he's not allowed to because of work reasons. He just can't work for them yet. But it's suspiciously close to it. So this is what we had. And from the first kickoff, what you saw with this setup was that they pushed high. They pressed really more intensely than you've seen from Man United for a long time. Fernandes led the press. And what he'd always do is, say the ball was with Silva, he'd make a run to make sure that Silva had to pass it in this side here. And Sancho, who is great throughout the game, and he swapped with Rashford a lot. They were often on different wings. Sancho was right next to him, again doing the same sort of thing, making sure that there was no pass into Jorginho, making sure there's no pass into Hudson-Odoi, so he's in this sort of area here. And to do that, it means that Alonso would be kind of available. So Wan-Bissaka, from the very start, was pushed right up, with McTominay pushing right up on Hudson-Odoi as well here. So there's just no real option here, and it forced Chelsea into making lots of clearances and taking lots of risks. And they gave the ball away a few times just as a result of this. But this is one of the things we saw. So like Tellers was pushing up high. Rashford, first half wasn't very good. Second half is almost like he was being told to do a bit of running and was pressing far more, making sure he's making runs in behind and running at people. That was really useful. But one player who was especially useful in this and will definitely work in a Ralf Rangnick system if this was influenced by that, may not have been, we don't know. It's Fred. Good old Fred was excellent in this game, and the things he's good at are buzzing around the pitch, using lots of energy, and what you saw from Man United in this game a lot was that he was helping with the forward press, so he would push right up as one of the, like a forward 4 almost. So you have, it's a very high risk strategy where the players are pushing right up the pitch, defenders are pushing right up, fullbacks are getting tight to people. So it's not man to man, but they're making sure that Chelsea can't play out for the back, basically, is what they're trying to do. Now, Fred won the ball a few times. You saw there was a chance late on in the game when I think it was Fred was pushed up high with Lingard came on later on, and Fred won the ball because he was pushing up high, and Mendy just played a silly pass into exactly where Fred was. Because you had players running, and because Man United were suddenly doing this thing where you have people like Fernandes and Rashford and Sancho and Lingard, and Ronaldo didn't do an awful lot when he came on, but these guys are running at Chelsea. It forced them into a lot of mistakes, and we saw that with high turnovers, which allowed Man United to then get chances away. The goal they scored was from a corner, and obviously a lot due to Jorginho's bad first touch, but he's closed down, like absolutely hounded by Sancho, who worked really hard in and out of possession the whole time, always closing people down, leading the press alongside with Fernandes, and also Rashford, who joined in for this. Really aggressive, make sure they took advantage of this touch. Rashford, if you watch it back, was offside the entire time, so Sancho couldn't pass to him if he wanted to. In possession, there's a couple of things that we saw as well. One we'll show you just now that I think is interesting in how United played out from the back. When United have built out from the back, they've tended to be a little bit slow, a bit patient with this. So if it goes from De Gea, it'll go to one of the centre-backs probably, Bailey Lindelof in this example here. And then they would go maybe short to Wan-Bissaka, who isn't great in the ball. Then McTominay tries to get involved, but as we've talked about in other Tifo videos, often isn't available to receive the ball. And then what's happened in the past is Fernandes has then dropped back to try and get involved, and it's all kind of fallen apart. Rather than Lindelof having the ball here and looking for Wan-Bissaka like they have been, United were trying to make more progressive passes, earlier passes through the lines. So Lindelof, rather than make this pass, was looking to make this pass instead, and you can see the difference in, it takes you up the pitch far earlier. Now, Sancho would have someone like Alonso or Rudiger or someone tight to him, so it's not like he can just take it to feet and do whatever he wants. But if this ball went in here, he could then lay it back to Wan-Bissaka, and United, rather than being trapped in this position here, Wan-Bissaka is, and having to get their way out with triangles, they get it up to here, and they can move up. So a little short pass to Wan-Bissaka, and suddenly the team can move forward. So they've already gained about 10, 15, 20 yards just by that one change of passing style. Whether that's just Lindelof spotting the pass or because he's been told to, we don't know, because we don't know what the managers say. But again, that's the sort of feature you see of Rangnick's teams. There's no point in playing short sideways passes in his system. He doesn't want possession for possession's sake. He wants to get the ball from back to front quickly, and then when they lose the ball, they press, they hound in numbers to try and win it back within about 8 seconds. That's the Rangnick way, as we talked about in one of our other Tifo videos. This was Carrick's way. It's very similar to the Rangnick way, the Caragnick way. I'm a genius. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. That's what we saw from Man United. It looks really promising. Whether the midfield stays the same in Matic, Fred and McTominay, not sure, but McTominay and Fred are both very useful, as their energy and box-to-box styles will suit this sort of play. This is what they're going to do going forward. One player that we should probably mention before we stop is Ronaldo, who came on, didn't do an awful lot of running, as you'd expect him not to. He also didn't follow the runner for a late chance that Chelsea had when Pulisic got in behind, round about here, and could very well nearly have won the game for Chelsea. So, things to work on. Looks interesting. I like it. 10 points.
Deal of the year, I got the 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 deal of the year. You're not gonna wanna miss this one. It's only one month. For a total of 12 months, that's £12 for the year. You wanna get the deal. You don't wanna miss this deal. It's the Athletic and Tifo. You want to get the Athletic for £1 per month for 12 months. You're not going to want to miss that. That's just £12 for the whole year of the Athletic, the best sports writing in the world. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic brings you the best sports journalism in the world in a personalised experience, connecting you with the stories and teams that you care about the most. There's coverage of 13 sports, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As, discussions and podcasts. Not to mention, it's all ad-free. And you can try it now for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.